Paul, I imagine a big chunk of your time is actually spent looking at MiFID, trying to figure out what it means for your clients.
Sure.
What's your biggest worry around MiFID II?
Our biggest worry as we enter what I consider the kind of final furlong of implementation is when we get down to details, and the details are going to kind of matter. And so I think we're concerned that there is a lot of cost, as you mentioned, but of course there's a lot of expectation, and we've seen that in the US as well. There's a lot of expectation that this is going to create opportunities, it's going to move the market forward, and it's going to create benefits for those investing in all the costs. So I'll give you a good example, I think, is on the trading venue piece. So there's a lack of clarity right now around how the trading venue rules are going to work. So in the US, by comparison, customers knew, I got to go to this new type of venue, I'm going to execute my swaps there, I'm going to see prices, I'm going to get the competition, transparency, and so on and so forth. That is unclear in Europe. And so I'd say one of the biggest risks we see right now is we're going to get all the costs of implementing OTFs and MTFs, these new types of trading venues, but some kind of loophole might prevent or might create a situation where no one has to use them. And I think that would be the concern, because if we don't use them, or if there's no opportunity to use them, we're not going to see the same benefits we've seen in the US. We're not going to see compression in pricing, faster execution, more transparency, more competition. I think if there's one thing investors want to see come out of the expenditure on a move to electronic trading, it really is more competitive pricing and a better execution for them and their clients.
But Paul, would it actually end up moving such very big markets, such as the interest rate swaps, to electronic trading? Like, could we see huge shifts?
I think right now, if you ask what we're worried about, the risk is you don't see any shift. Right? So the risk is, what should happen, as I think we've seen happen in the US, is there should be a good, healthy balance that comes out, right? There is very liquid benchmark products that are very well suited to trade on electronic markets. There are more complex structured products that are less well suited to trade on electronic markets. I think most customers would agree the price discovery and execution process for the very liquid benchmark instruments is very well suited to electronic markets. It's faster, there's less complexity around the transaction. They're not looking to call 5 guys to get a price on a 50 million 10-year swap.
But do clients ask you about this? Or do they,
yes.
for them, do they not care? How much does it actually impact the client specifically?
I would say it impacts clients a lot. I'd say if I listen to what bubbles up to the surface from talking to our clients, especially in Europe, cost is way at the top. It just feels like this is just cost and a burden. And that's very consistent with what we've seen in the US. And I think that's when the discussion quickly pivots to, well, I really hope I get something out of this for myself and my investors, right? I'd say that's high up there. I think the operational readiness piece, while more sort of boring, is actually quite important, right? These are big, fundamentally important markets. And I think when you're in a situation now where it's July and we're looking at January implementation, and frankly, not one of our customers can answer with any clarity how they're going to execute a swap next year.
Yeah, but this goes far beyond the kind of post-crisis regulation, right? Do you think it's a step too soon?
Meaning the implementation timing is a step too soon? I wouldn't say so. And I think that the best way to think about that is, in the US, we've had this kind of market structure implemented for 3 years now, more or less. And I think we're in a very good place in the US where we're about to start thinking about ways to tweak the rules and make them better. So no, I don't think it's too soon.
All right.